I wanted to watch the film. My friends were calling me, my family members, and I wanted to keep a screening for them. So I called up Bhaiya and I told him that okay, can we do this? He said, of course. And I kept the screening, and honestly, that picture, or that video, I mean, it was just very, very organic. We have a wonderful relationship, and I have a lot of respect for him. For the way he is, for the kind of person he is. Work out and look a certain way, and I've always been very athletic, and genetically I'm blessed with a good physique, I feel. So I just had to work more hard on that and achieve what my producer Aditya Chopra wanted. And the audience loved it. Of course, I had to take permission from my mom about wearing the yeah. I felt I needed to take, but when I went and asked her, she looked at me like, are you seriously asking me something like this? Don't you go on holidays with your friends and do that on the beach? Papa is by nature, genuinely, he's a very romantic person. He'll do his shairis, and he's just, always been that way. And Shabana ji is fantastic. We all love her. No, a lot of portions I couldn't watch as an audience because at the end of the day, there are a lot of emotional scenes and it was not easy. I remember the excitement of reading your first film's review. And there was so much comparison to my mom in most of them, and that's when I realized that, okay, then second film, third film, I said, okay, this is something I got to get used to now because I'm here to work. And if I'm going to let this affect me, then that's not going to be good for me.
Hello everyone, I'm Rani and welcome to Zoom Speak Easy. My guest today is very special. You have loved her for a really, really long time. She does things at her own pace, lives life by her own rules, and she has been doing really interesting stuff according to her own pace. There's security there, there's honesty there. Of course, I'm talking about the lovely Esha Deol. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me on the show.
But I do mean it. There is a tremendous amount of self-belief and security because, in this field where you're always told you have to be seen all the time, you have to stay relevant. I don't think you've gone through those. I'm sure you must have gone through phases like that, but you have maintained a certain dignity in the way you live and doing things at your own pace.
I totally believe that I own my own time to me.
Yeah, and was that difficult though in the beginning? Because in this field, everyone's always asking you to be there. You'll have to be relevant.
I was coaxed a lot. I still get coaxed today, but I still like doing things where I feel are necessary. There, I'm definitely there. But I don't really make myself be seen a lot because I live a very private life. My personal life is very personal to me. And my work life is for all of you to enjoy and watch. And from time to time, I like to share certain things about my personal life as well, because I think that's how the fans of mine like it. And I really admire their staying in touch quality with me through the years.
Every time there's somebody who has someone in the industry gets launched, the nepotism debate is start. You have been through a phase where that was discussed and you had to live up to the expectations of Dharmendra ji and Hema Malini ji. Those shoes were anyways not going to be filled in by anybody else, but you come from there. Sometimes I think we forget that when you come from places like that, the pressure is 10 times more. You have handled that so well over the years. I'm sure it must have been very, very difficult for you in the beginning. And then again, you have created your own identity, coming out of those overpowering shadows that already existed. Tell me how that has been.
Well, thank you for that. And first of all, I'm extremely proud to be born to such wonderful human beings. And then they are legends and actors who are admired by millions. Initially, it was not something that I thought would happen because I mean, you don't expect anything. You just start out and you start out. Yeah, so initially I used to wonder why and this, and I used to have chats with my parents, and it took me a while. I was 18 when I started, extremely, that's a very naive age, and I remember the excitement of reading your first film's review, and there was so much comparison to my mom in most of them, you know, and that's when I realized that, okay, then second film, third film, I said, okay, this is something I got to get used to now, because I'm here to work, and if I'm going to let this affect me, then that's not going to be good for me. So let that pressure cooker be on the side, and I'll continue doing my work.
You know, it makes sense why this film Ek Dua is so important for you. Because of course, you might not look for validation from others, like you were saying, you know, with the kind of comparison that are made to your mother in the first film. But a part of you always also wants to be appreciated from the idols that exist in your family already. A film like Ek Dua getting like a special mention for a non-feature film at the National Awards is obviously a big deal for you.
Of course, it is.
So tell me how you look at that, and of course, how much it means for your parents, both Dharmendra ji and Hema.
So, I mean, you know, for me, for a film like Ek Dua, which deals with female feticide, for a topic like that and a film like that to get recognition at such a big level, the national awards, is a big thing for me. I feel I've done something right by going ahead and producing this film and acting in it. It was honestly a very small contribution of mine by using our medium of films to give a message like this for such a big cause. And I am someone who has always had a lot of feminine, female energy while growing up also, and even today. I am a daughter, I have a sister, I have daughters. In my family, we have a lot of girl babies and women in general. And I've always enjoyed that, and everyone is wonderful. Like the women in my family are really solid when it comes, whether it's my grandmom, mother, my aunt Madhu, my other aunt Prabha is a fantastic classical dancer. And there's so many of them, you know, and like that. And I am someone who totally believes that girls should be born. And it's just a mentality of a section of people, which I'm trying to somewhere through the film maybe change their mind if that is possible. Because it's so painful. And then of course our film did get a lot of recognition internationally, which was wonderful. And now to go ahead and get this is one of the most beautiful experiences I'm having in life right now.
Yeah. Well, how did they react, your parents?
Oh, my parents, of course, their blessings are always there with me, right from the word go when I started the project. They were a little taken aback that I am going to produce a film like this. They thought, karegi to kuch alag, kuch aur karegi, no? Hasi mazak types. But I said, no, this is what I'm doing. And then, I mean, you know, the rest
is here for all to see.
All to see, and I'm glad through this announcement of the National Award and the film getting recognized there, more people have opened up to want to watch the film compared to when it released. So that's great, added bonus, you know. And for me, that's even better because I just want as many people out there to watch it.
100%. And that's the purpose of the film also,
absolutely,
right?
The purpose is that.
But congratulations.
Thank you.
Of course. You have rightly said that you have such strong women in your family. You're also very unafraid to say what is in your mind, even when there is media around, which I think takes a lot of courage, right? There's a video of yours which is forever. There where you have walked out saying, no, please continue. And it keeps popping up saying, oh, you know, she takes a stand where she thought like she was not being respected.
I mean, it's more like if I was on the other side, I would not treat anyone
exactly,
in a certain
space and
way
respect.
Because I really respect every human being, and that's how I've been taught from a very young age too. So we expect the same in return.
Which is what, and even Hema is like that, right? Yeah. Like when he has to say something about something, you see her, you know, she'll
call a spade,
right? And she's in politics, you know, you're always advised to be very
politically
careful.
Correct.
Politically correct. You know, sometimes how does that impact you? Because, you know, I'm sure you're also that, what's on my mind, I'll say it.
I mean, I don't know about out there in media and all, but more so with my personal interactions with my friends and my people around me. but somewhere some of the people I hang out with are also similar. I mean, we all are very honest. We have very honest conversations, which sometimes come across as blunt. Blunt can be hurtful. So it's but now, you know, over the years we need to know where to draw the line.
Which is okay.
Yeah.
You at a time were doing things, of course, you were playing the girl next door, you were playing the love interest and all of that, but then you were also doing films that were, you know, movies like a Kal or something like that in between, which was very, not at the time would be conventional for that sake. And you were trying, right? And at that time, you had very little roles that people were wanting women to experiment with, and you all still tried. Now, of course,
like Ankahi was a film like that, I would say.
Exactly.
In a very big way.
How was that for you on the set at the time? Because, you know, as a person, I know you want to be obviously way more than just what is being offered to you. But the scripts were not really at the time, you know, equal to both the male and the female characters.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm glad that certain films like that came my way and that interested me and I took it up, you know. Some of them were really hard-hitting, strong stories. Like, even for example, A Darling was through the eyes of a ghost, a horror comedy, but the female character in that was very strong. And I enjoyed playing those characters a lot. Because it's full of passion, you know, and I'm a very passionate person.
100%. Tell me the shift in Dhoom where everybody was like, oh my God, she is just amazing. Like, it was for you an entire change.
Correct.
Was that difficult for you? Because in general, I know the only person that you would probably care about is your parents and what they think of it. How did that conversation go? And ultimately, the entire amount of love also that you received, that, oh my God, look at her.
That still continues with Dhoom, yeah, that's like...
So we have to talk about Dhoom.
So, I mean, it was, you know, one of the most lovely, fun scripts ever, and the role of Sheena was very much resonating with me at that time, you know, tough chick and little bindas and bold, and in my 20s I was all that. Somewhere I'm still that. And of course the fact that I had to look toned and, you know, work out and look a certain way, and I've always been very athletic and genetically I'm blessed with a good physique, I feel. So I just had to work more hard on that and achieve what my producer Aditya Chopra wanted. And the audience loved it. Of course I had to take permission from my mom about wearing
For the bikini?
Yeah. I felt I needed to take, but when I went and asked her, she looked at me like, are you seriously asking me something like this? Don't you go on holidays with your friends and do that on the beach? Wear a bikini, what's the big deal? So then I was like, okay. And I knew the people who were shooting it, I was in good hands.
Was it, now of course, you know, it's extremely normal to sort of have an on-screen kiss to show the relationship between, but at that time, like you said, like, there were different times, and you, I think, particularly very aware that I don't want to do something that'll hurt my parents in any way. Did that sort of affect the decisions you were taking? Like, for example, you give an example, and you have maintained certain things that you don't want to do on screen that made you uncomfortable. How did you deal with that?
Yeah, I still deal with that.
Yeah, you do when they come up with scripts and...
But some people, I mean, you know, you don't go in that direction where you know you're going to be asked to do certain things. At the same time, I feel times are changing, and if there's something that can be aesthetically shot, I'm open to that, you know.
Like when you come in the industry, right? What were your boundaries
that
you
time
made for
when
yourself?
I was in the industry, there was not so much of real, like, lip lock kiss and all that. Very once in a blue moon, it would have happened for an actor or actress.
Even then?
Yeah, I mean, even if you want to look like a woman in totality, you know, with the oomph, it has to be shot well. I'm game for it.
That's wonderful. And like you said, times have changed so much from what it used to be.
It's very easy to go wrong with that shoot. So you need to know you're in the right hands.
The relationship that the Deols have within the family, right? And of course, everybody has been talking about how wonderful it was to see you all together. I think it was also wonderful for Dharmendra, who put out a post, and he looked so happy to see all of you all together. I just told you I had spoken to Sunny about it, and he was just like, you know, there is a lot of pain that people go through eventually, but time heals everything. And he also said that it was just the most wonderful gesture, which we could see. Tell me about that. I know it wasn't planned, but I want to know what you felt about it and how the reactions that you got.
You know, see, we've always been a very private family with certain dynamics and out of respect, and we like it that way and we keep it that way. Even now it continues that way. Gadar, I mean, you know, it's like so many people wanted to watch the film. I wanted to watch the film. My friends were calling me, my family members, and I wanted to keep a screening for them. So I called up Bhaiya and I told him that, can we do this? He said, of course. And I kept the screening, and honestly that picture that video, I mean, it was just very, very organic. I mean, you can see it was just very organically happened, but the fans and everyone, overall the reaction was very emotional from the public. We were very touched by that. Having said that, you know, we have a wonderful relationship, and I have a lot of respect for him. For the way he is, for the kind of person he is.
I remember that you had spoken about this in Himaji's biopic as well, right? I remember you had written about how you'll, you know, that, well, you'll only be validated by the world, but you've been tying them Rakhi every year, and how that
Come
is.
on, yeah.
I mean,
Now it's like, see, people want to make stories, but we are not here to prove anything to anyone. Exactly. It's because we are actors, we are famous, popular faces, they are more interested. But
it's been wonderful.
Yeah.
And on that note, we are talking about Dharamji.
Okay.
He's had a great year as well.
Of course.
Rocky Rani is like a huge hit.
Yes, wood.
Touch wood. But it's, yeah, it is true, touch wood. You know, it's, but look at what the Deols are having a great year, clearly. And Rocky Rani being again a huge, huge hit. Yes. And of course, I think he's the coolest person I know.
Yeah, he's the coolest.
He's the coolest because, you know, he was asked about the on-screen kiss. That like, oh my God, you know, like depicting love at any age is important.
Of course.
And it was that scene.
There's no barrier or anything.
Correct.
To kiss
and
at any age.
That is why I think they are.
Who said so?
Absolutely. And I think that is what made it more cooler. And people were like, you know, he's so cool.
Yeah, and he's so handsome. And, you know, it was just
great. And he said, "Ye to mera baya hath ka khel hai." He's amazing. And we laughed a lot about it. But how excited were you? Because for you to see your father
Papa
on screen.
Is by nature, genuinely, he's a very romantic person. He'll do his shairis and he's just, you know, always been that way. And Shabana ji is fantastic. We all love her. And even Jaya ji, I have a huge soft spot for Jaya auntie. So it was just very, again, with good hands. Karan Johar is amazing. So shot beautifully and professionally, and they're professional actors, so they did.
You were watching it like an audience when you were seeing it, right? Like
no, a lot of portions I couldn't watch as an audience because at the end of the day, you know, there are a lot of emotional scenes and it was not easy. But I wanted to watch the whole film.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Because, you know, and obviously the love that he has for you, he put out a post also, I think, recently with you on a picture, and he said that, you know, I just want to say I love you and him.
Yeah, you know, now these days, I mean, it's very funny, but somewhere social media gets the better of you. You know, when people can say it, a lot of people say it. That's the way the public wants it, they want it. So sometimes it's an easier platform.
Yeah, of course. No,
and I don't know. But yeah, social media seems to have gotten the better of a lot of us.
Some fun questions. Esha, are you ready?
Of course.
The funniest nicknames that people have given you. Can be family, can be friends.
See, it's not funny, but my nickname is Bittu. My dad has named me Bittu, and from even my staff, my makeup man, my hairdresser, they all call me Bittu. Even everyone in my house calls me Bittu, but it's somewhere a name of maybe a young Punjabi boy, kid. Anyway, so that name even comes on set with me because the same people on set, they are like, Bittu ji mirror, Bittu ji ye wo. And my actors, my co-stars, they have a field day. At least initially they used to have a blast pulling my leg. Oh, Bittu ji, come here, Bittu ji. And it was just like, so that's always been a joke, the Bittu ji on set. Otherwise, I don't have any funny nicknames. One is now going to be a bit worrisome to some because I'm Esha Deol. So my friends, my co-stars, most of them, they call me ED.
Okay.
So, and they saved my name also as ED on their phone, a lot of them. So now they tell us when we see ED calling, we get
That's a funny
Yeah,
one,
that's a
actually.
funny one.
That's a funny one.
Yeah.
A co-star of yours that you obviously hope that you get casted with again on screen.
Ajay again and again and again.
Yeah?
And Salman. Of course, Salman. and
Of
Ajay.
course.
Yeah. I just love working with these people, and I'm glad I got to work again with Ajay recently. So it's definitely Salman and Ajay. I have a huge soft corner for.
Okay, great. A kind of film that you really want to hope that you get.
I think I'm happy with what's coming my way, but and meaningful stuff is coming my way, and I really enjoy doing action even in Hunter. So, you know, I'm the kind, if I've just done an action and satisfied myself doing, I'll immediately jump to something totally contrast.
It's amazing.
So I like, for myself, I do that for myself, to be honest.
What has changed in Esha after motherhood?
So much. So much has changed. Motherhood has changed me for the better, I would say. Definitely there's that therav, and I mean, it's one of the most beautiful experiences a woman goes through.
A movie of yours that you regret not doing?
There are a couple of them that had come my way, which I don't know for what reason I didn't do. Would definitely be the first part of Golmaal, Omkara, couple of them more. But whoever then went on to doing the films, those girls have done fantastically also in them. So it's, I mean.
A person from the industry, not from family, from the industry that you can call always for advice.
I have a couple of them for different kind of advice, you know. So there's definitely Tushar, who's a great parent to Laksh, and I take a lot of advice from him on kids' classes and this, that, and everything. Then of course I have Fardeen, who gives me a lot of life lesson advice. He's great at that. And for fitness tips and all, there's Zayed.
Perfect. You have all sorted.
Yeah.
You have your gang sorted.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of fans keep telling that you need to do some more Tamil, Telugu, and Malayalam.
Yeah. Tamil nalla pesven. Tamil le vanda edo pandren.
Is that happening? And so, an actor that you hope that you get to do again with?
In South?
Yeah.
Surya.
Of course. Are there more?
Huh?
Are there more people that you hope that you... There are so many others that have come now as well, right?
Well, with Rajni ji, won something with him because he's so cute. Yeah.
Because they always tell you, you read some comments,
Yeah.
right? You always say that when are we
Yeah,
seeing you again?
yeah.
So that, hopefully.
Yes.
You're putting it out in the universe
Putting
for you.
it out.
I think Ek Dua should get so much more love.
Thank you.
And you've had a fascinating journey, and I wish you all the very best.
Thank you so much.
Looking forward to seeing so much more of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Esha.
Thank you.